So my friends, let's find out what's in the box. But first of all, I am a bit thirsty today, so let's do the glug 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 thing. Good. What's in the box today? I wonder. Here we go. Get ready for that sound effect. And if it's not loud enough at home, when I open this box, I'd like you all to go. Okay, here we go. Oh, I say, look at that! Little glossy brochure. A little glossy brochure. Brochure, not broocher. What's a brochure? Something you wear, isn't it? A brochure. That's nice, it says. Oh, full of my favourite things. Oh, look at that. I'll have to get some of that and one of those. Oh, look at that. Well, this can only be one story. This must be the story of the fisherman and his wife. Dun, 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 dun. But before I tell the story, there's someone who needs to have a word with you. It's Beryl.
Oh yes, I'm here again. I'm here again. Yeah, 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row, aren't you lucky, you cheeky little things, you cheeky little things. Well, you know what happens if I'm here. You know what happens. You know what it means. It means mild Beryl means I'm going to warn you about some mild peril. That means this story, okay, this story is not going to be, it's not going to be too scary. No, not too scary. But at the same time, it's not going to be too fluffy. Yeah? So not too scary, but not too fluffy. Just a little bit of mild peril in there. Yeah. So don't worry, okay? Hold on tight and everything will be all right. Oh, and by the way, just remember, be careful what you wish for. All right, dear? I'll see you on the other side. TTFN. Bye.
Well, I think after that little mention from mild Beryl, it's time for me to put on my fisherman's hat. Oh, hang on. Let me do that one again. My fisherman's hat. There we go. Proper, authentic fisherman's hat. So, oh, it's a bit tight. There we go. Are you ready? Are you steady? Are you a bright pink teddy? Good. Well, there was once a hut, a pretty little hut, by the side of the sea, which is often called the beach or the shore. So let's say on the shore or on the beach, there was a beautiful little hut. And in this hut, there lived a fisherman. Yeah, an old fisherman. He was getting on a bit. I don't know how old exactly he was, but he was an old fisherman. And he was called Nelson. But everyone called him Nelly. Old Nelly, they called him. And he was a lovely sort of salty sea dog kind of person. Yeah, very jolly, very smiley. And his wife, well, she wasn't so smiley. Her name was Brunhilde. Yes, but everyone called her Hilda for short. But she wasn't as smiley and as jolly as her husband, old Nelly. And they had a dog, a lovely, friendly, sort of wiry kind of dog called Toby, or Toby for short. Yeah. Now, the three of them lived in this lovely little hut. Yeah. They didn't have any, well, they did have children, but the children had all grown up and had left. So it was quite peaceful and quite quiet in this hut. It was quite a big hut, not a shed, not as small as a shed, not as big as a house, but somewhere in between the two. And once a year, old Nelly would paint this hut. He would paint the walls lovely white, chalky white, and he would paint all the window frames with a cornflower blue paint, yeah, like this. And he would paint the door pink. It looked lovely, and old Nelly in particular loved living there. So, as I said, he was a fisherman, and he would go out every day to catch fish. He would catch just enough fish, just like Khalifa in the story of the fisherman and the genie. Yeah. Old Nelly would go out, he would catch not too many fish, but not too few fish, just enough. Enough for him and his wife, and a few extra to sell at the fish market. And a few for Toby, of course, because Toby did like his fish. But they weren't rich, they weren't poor, they were just fine. They were content. They had everything they needed. Yes, but anyway, after a few days of just enjoying the sunshine, this was let me say that bit again. Their children had left not that long ago, and at first Hilda had seemed quite calm about this. But after a while, her mood seemed to get a little bit darker. Yeah. And old Nellie noticed that she'd spent a lot of time reading this brochure. That's nice. But he was worried that she seemed a bit gloomy as she looked through this. And he said to her, "Hilda, my dear, Hilda, is everything all right there?" And she would just look at this and say, without saying anything else, without even looking up from the brochure. Just a Well, at this point, old Nellie realised he should go out and walk Toby. Yeah, Toby had already been walked that day, but when Hilda was in that kind of mood, old Nellie didn't really want to be around. You see, old Nellie, he wasn't scared of the sea, he wasn't scared of sharks, he wasn't scared of pirates, but he was rather scared of Hilda when she was in a bad mood. Anyway, days went by, and she seemed to get gloomier and gloomier, but her head was always buried in this brochure. "You all right, dear?" She would say. But days went past, nets were mended, Toby was walked, fish were caught, but her mood seemed to get worse and worse and worse. "Are you sure you're all right, Hilda?" She would say, even louder than time before, and at that point he went off and repainted the house, even though he had only done it a few months ago. But eventually he said, "Hilda, you must tell me, is everything all right?" But all she said was, as loud as she possibly could, which is a bit difficult to do without, sneezing. But she said it so loud, he got very, very scared, and he thought, "Oh, I better go off. I better get out of the house." And even though he'd already caught enough fish for the day, he got back into his boat, and he and Toby went off rowing in the night like this. It was a full moon, and everything was bright and everything was peaceful. The sea was lovely and calm. The stars were glowing in the sky, and Toby was wagging his tail. But poor old Nellie, he was really worried. Something's definitely up with my Hilda. Something's definitely up with her. Things ain't right. Anyway, he cast the net out like this. He wasn't bothered if he caught any fish or not. He just wanted to enjoy the silence, enjoy the calm. But the net snagged a little bit. It snagged like that. And he pulled the net in, and inside the net he had caught a most beautiful fish. Not a rainbow fish, not like the one that Simon caught last week, but all the same, it was a beautiful, sparkly fish. There. Anyway, he caught the fish in his net, and he opened up the net, and the fish looked at him and said, "Oh, please, please don't eat me. Please let me go. Please, please, pretty please." Well, old Nellie was absolutely astounded. He was absolutely astounded. "Am I dreaming?" And he looked at Toby, and Toby just said, "Woof." Whether that was a "yes, you're dreaming, woof," or "no, you're not dreaming, woof," I don't know, nor did old Nellie, but it was a woof all the same. But then the fish spoke again. "No, you're not dreaming. I really am talking to you. But please don't eat me. I really won't taste very nice. I'll probably give you indigestion." "I wouldn't eat you," said old Nellie. "A talking fish? It's not every day you come across a talking fish. That's absolutely amazing. Don't worry, little fella. You go back in the sea. I won't eat you." And he threw the net, threw the fish into the sea, and the fish just disappeared just like that. Wow. Well, this lifted old Nelly's spirits, yeah. He couldn't wait to get home and tell Hilda about what he had just seen. She'd be delighted, she'd be thrilled. This will lift her out of her gloom, surely. So, as fast as he could, he rowed back home. And when he got home, again, her head was buried in the brochure. Hilda! Hilda! You won't believe what's just happened. Honestly, I caught a fish. It was a talking fish. It actually spoke to me. And what exactly did you do with this talking fish? I put it back in the sea. I let it go, of course. It was a talking fish. I wasn't going to eat a talking fish. You let it go? You silly, silly, silly man. How could you let it go? It was probably magical. It was probably enchanted. You let it go? You should have asked for something. You should have asked for a wish, or 3 wishes maybe. Well, this wasn't quite the reaction that old Nelly had been hoping for. No. Where was the OMG? You've just found a talking fish. That's amazing. That's brilliant. No, this wasn't the reaction he wanted at all. You silly man. It was probably an enchanted prince or a cursed pirate. You silly man. How could you do that? You've read enough stories. You know about animals that are enchanted, animals that can speak, animals that you catch and you let go. They always give you a wish, or sometimes they give you 3 wishes. But Hilda, my dear, we don't need any wishes. We get by. We're happy enough, aren't we? Get by? Get by? We don't get by. I'm sick of getting by. I've had enough of getting by. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I want some more things. I want some more things. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. There's lots of lovely things in here. You could have asked that fish for a bigger house. Yeah, a bigger house with a back garden full of fruit trees and a front garden with a cute little ornamental wheelbarrow pushed by a glazed ornamental sort of earthenware gnome or something like that. You silly man. Now go out there and find that fish and ask him for some nice things. Well, poor Nelly. He hated to see his wife upset. He hated to see his wife angry. And maybe the house was a bit on the small side, so it wouldn't hurt, would it, to go out and find that fish? But what are the chances of finding that fish again? Pretty slim, he thought. Pretty slim. But he got back into the boat with Toby and he rowed off into the night. But as he rowed out, the sea wasn't calm anymore. It was all choppy. And there was a strange sort of smell. Ooh, this doesn't feel right, he thought. This doesn't feel right. And Toby didn't seem happy, and he certainly wasn't happy. But anyway, they rowed, they rowed, R-O-W-E-D. They rowed out to the same spot where he'd caught the fish before, and he threw the net back in. And he waited about half an hour, and he caught quite a few fish, but each fish he caught, he said, "Are you an enchanted prince? No. Are you a cursed pirate? No. Are you a talking fish? No." But eventually, up pops the fish again. And it seemed bigger this time. And if I hold it nearer the camera, it'll seem bigger. It seemed bigger this time. And it seemed scarier this time. And its teeth were shiny, bright and sharp. And its eyes seemed to glow. Oh, it was a little bit frightening, a little bit fearful, a little bit scary. And old Nelly said to the fish, "Oh, little fish, oh, little fish, oh, please pardon me. May I have a wish for my wife before you return to the sea?" For some weird reason, old Nelly thought it would be less embarrassing to ask the fish in rhyming couplets. And the fish said, "Yes, old Nelly, "What would you like?"
in a much more sort of theatrical way than before. Well, old Nelly said what his wife had asked for.
"Well, my wife, she'd like a bigger house, you know, with a back garden full of fruit trees, and maybe a front garden with a cute sort of ornamental wheelbarrow pushed by a glazed ornamental sort of, earthenware gnome or something like that." "Consider your wish granted," and the fish popped back into the water.
Well, when he got home, he couldn't believe his eyes. The wish had come true. There was a much bigger house with a front garden with a cute ornamental wheelbarrow, etc. And in the back garden, lots of fruit trees. And there was Hilda smiling from ear to ear, as happy as she has ever been in her life. "Oh, you dear sweet man. Oh, Nelly, well done. You've made my dreams come true, you sweetheart. Well done." Wow. Old Nelly was absolutely chuffed by this, yeah. In 20 years she hadn't been this nice to him. 20 years! And he felt really proud of what he had done, but there was something a bit sort of, bland about this house. It was a bit like a show home. It didn't feel like his lovely old hut at all. He felt quite awkward being in there. But so long as she's happy, he thought. Anyway, a couple of weeks went by, and then something worrying happened. He noticed that Hilda had picked up another brochure, and this brochure was called Dreamy Stuff, and her mood seemed to darken. "Everything all right, my dear?" She said from the brochure, Dreamy Stuff. Days went by, nets were mended, Toby was walked, fish were caught, the house got repainted, but eventually she said, "I've been thinking, Nelson, I wish you would ask for some more stuff. Yes, our house, it feels a little bit echoey. It feels echoey. So I've written a list of things that I really want. I want you to go out there and ask the fish for all the things on my list, because I'm not happy. I'm not happy, Nelson. I'm not happy, and I want to be happy, and I want you to ask for these things." "But Hilda, my dear," said old Nelly. "No buts. No buts. No buts at all. No buts at all. We'll have no buts at all in this house. I want you to go out now, take the list, and ask that fish for everything on there." Well, Nelly didn't know what to do. He'd loved to see her that happy, and he hated her seeing her sad. But he felt really uncomfortable doing this. But he thought, I suppose the house does echo a little bit. It wouldn't be so bad, would it? And besides, I probably won't find the fish at all. So out he rode. And this time, the waves were really high, slapping against the side of the boat. And the sea, it stank so bad, it stank of rotten eggs. And he cut some of the water in his hands, and it was all grey and slimy and oozy. Well, the fish appeared again, and this time the fish was 3 times the size from before, and his teeth were white and sharp, and his eyes, they glowed like lasers. Well, he said to the fish, "Oh little fish, oh little fish, oh please pardon me. Please pardon me. May I have a wish for my wife before I return you to the sea?" "What do you wish for, old Nelly?" said the fish in a far more theatrical way. "Well, this is what my wife says, all right. We'd like, what's this? A wide
screen plasma moving picture on the wall. Yeah, we'll have one of those. I don't think TV's been invented yet, so the picture's fine. We'll have a three-piece suite with matching curtains and pelmets, all in peach, please. New carpets throughout, and they've got to match the three-piece suite, match the peach. Okay, she'd like a wardrobe filled with ridiculously overpriced clothes made by celebrity designers, and a cabinet full of those perfumes. You know, those perfumes which only the classy actors advertise, and a huge carriage pulled by 4 white horses with a parking space or a garage. She doesn't really mind. Oh, and lots of servants, please. Thank you. Well, old Nelly, consider it done. And with a splash, the fish popped back into the sea. And when old Nelly got home with Toby, there was his wife, smiling from ear to ear. And there were all the things from the list inside the house. And to tell you the truth, old Nelly hated it. He hated it. Everything felt so plastic. In fact, he hated it so much he went out into the garden and started to build him and Toby a shed to hang out in. Well, Hilda was happy for just a little while. But soon her mood darkened because she had picked up a 3rd brochure. And this brochure, it was called I Want That. And her mood was dark. And old Nelly, he was too frightened to ask her, is everything all right? But eventually, a whole month since that second wish had come true, she slammed this down on the table and said, Nelson, I've been thinking. I want more things. Our house is lovely, but no one gets to see it. No one gets to see it. So I've written another wish list, and I want you to go out and I want to find that fish, and I want these things to come true, because until they come true, I won't be happy. I won't be happy. Listen, this is what I want. I want that fish to invent television. Yeah. So I can have my own reality show from home. What else have I written? Oh, thank goodness I wrote this list. I want the fish to invent cameras so they can follow me around the house. So I can give tips on how to do makeup and how to have good fashion sense. I want that fish to make me an influencer. I want to be more glamorous. I want my own private flying machine to take me anywhere in the world. I want my own tower named after me. Yes, I do. And I want my own golf course in Scotland. And I want to be in charge of everything. Everything. Everything, Nelly. Now go out and find that fish and make me happy. Well, old Nelly was about to say, I can't. I won't. I won't do it. I've had enough. But he looked down at Toby, and Toby seemed to say, it's all right, Nelly. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, me old mucker. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be sweet as pie. Don't you worry. Come with me. So, old Nelly and Toby, they got into the boat and out they went into the sea. But the sea, it was dreadful. It was dreadful. The water was so thick and sludgy. It felt like treacle, but the waves still were high and they slapped all over them. And poor Toby and poor old Nelly, they got covered in sewage. Oh, it was disgusting. The filthy slime, it stank so bad. And when the fish appeared, it appeared just like that. No net this time. The fish appeared, and this time it was the size of a shark. Its teeth were like daggers and its eyes glowed like infernos. And the fish, it just looked at Nelly like this. And Nelly was terrified, and he said, oh, little fish, oh, little fish, oh, please pardon me. May I have a wish for my wife before you return to the sea? And the fish just said, consider it done. without even asking Nelly what the wish was. And the fish disappeared into the waves, and straightway the sea calmed. The water became clear, and everything felt peaceful and calm. Old Nelly rode home, fearful what he was going to find when he got back home. But Toby was wagging his tail like this. Well, when he got back to shore, lo and behold, there was his hut, his beautiful old hut, white walls, cornflower blue window frames, and a pink door, just like before. But there was no sign of Hilda anywhere. No sign at all. Oh, perhaps she's just popped out for a little bit. She'll be back soon. So he sat down in Hilda's favourite chair, like this. And without knowing why, he picked up the brochure that she had had, the first one. That's nice. And he flipped through the pages. And there, on page 374, was Hilda, trapped in the brochure forever. Da, da, da. I told you it wasn't going to be too fluffy, but hopefully it wasn't too scary. So I hope you don't mind that one, but don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be a bit of a love story and a bit of an adventure story. So for the moment, please stay safe, please stay healthy, please stay happy, look after each other. TTFN.